We all know the physical sensation. You are staring down a page of symbols, your grip tightens on the pencil, and your brain freezes up. It feels like you are being forced to read an alien language. We treat mathematics as a rigid, artificial system. We assume it is a grueling academic chore that we have to force our brains to endure through sheer memorization. But the biological reality tells a completely different story. Long before we form words, before we ever learn to string a sentence together, our bodies are already doing math. Look at this visual test flashing on screen. You don't have to sequentially count 1, 2, or 3 dots to know how many are there. Your brain registers the exact quantity instantly. This is a process called subitizing, an innate ability to recognize small numbers in a fraction of a second. We share this exact instantaneous quantity recognition with infants, monkeys, and even crows. Math is entirely natural. It is an ancient evolutionary survival tool, pre-installed directly into our biological hardware. If we are born with this instinct, where exactly is the calculator inside our heads? Look at this 3D model. This highlighted region is the intraparietal sulcus, and it functions as the brain's physical number module. It operates exactly like a physical sense, no different than sight or hearing. Early humans relied on this specific cluster of neurons to instantly assess threats, quickly determining if there were more predators over a ridge or calculating how much food was left on a branch. We can verify this piece of hardware exists by looking at what happens when this specific patch of tissue is altered. Some individuals are born with a physical variation in this exact area of the brain. The result is a highly specific condition known as number blindness. An otherwise highly intelligent person with this variation can look at a group of 5 objects and a group of 3 and find it physically impossible to compute which pile is larger. The visual information reaches the brain, but the hardware cannot process the quantity. Because we can isolate and impair mathematical ability exactly like eyesight, we know it is a biological function of the organ itself. It is a biological sense rather than a measure of general intelligence or willpower, which raises a massive question. If our original hardware is only designed to instantly count 3 or 4 predators, how do we eventually write calculus equations? Early human culture actively hacked our innate biological module, building physical tools to expand its capacity. This split screen shows the physiology of how it started. On the left, raising 3 fingers activates the motor cortex on the right, which is wired directly into our math module. We used our fingers as our very first calculators. When humans transitioned from using fingers to carving tally marks into bone or wood, they turned physical actions into external memory drives. Written numbers and algebraic symbols followed soon after. They were invented to push the brain's processing capacity far past its natural biological limits. Complex abstract mathematics is a massive cultural software upgrade running continuously on ancient biological hardware. Think back to that terrifying classroom chalkboard filled with endless equations. Those formulas are simply a highly refined cultural language, a system designed to write down what your body already knows. When you calculate a tip at a restaurant or suddenly step back onto a curb to avoid a speeding car, your brain's ancient engine is firing in a fraction of a second, perfectly calculating physics, distance, and velocity to keep you alive. The idea of a math person is a myth. High-level mathematics requires training and existing instinct, true, but no one is born with a different kind of brain. You don't need to be a certified genius to understand math. Every time you count, measure, or estimate, you are proving that simply being human makes you a mathematician.